Hello. Today we are talking about The Slob. Trigger warning, this book is very gory, dark, and graphic. It talks about cannibalism, the death of an unborn baby in a very violent or gruesome manner, and then the death of a lot of women and some men. All right. So, this is a short read. It's under 200 pages. So, if you're able to stomach it, you could probably finish it in a day. I was not able to. I needed to take breaks. I think it's a good book in the sense that I did kind of want to keep reading. Kind of. Like, once you get past the worst part, it's like you're able to kind of sail through it. It's pretty easy. But oh my god, the worst part is the worst. It's horrible. I cried. It didn't make me throw up. I've only had one book so far make me throw up. And this was not that. Other people did say that it made them throw up, and I could see why. Like, I did get a little nauseated and just was like, I'm gonna step away, put it down, and I'll come back later. But I can't, if you have a sensitive stomach, I don't think this is the book for you. Basically, my biggest beef is the damn killer is horrible, and the baby did not deserve what happened to it. And in my review, I want to get it out. The main character is pregnant. She's about second trimester, so maybe anywhere from 4 to 6 months-ish. Somewhere around there. Pregnant. And the antagonist in the book, once he has her, he beats the crap out of her face and then decides that was not enough and then takes it out on the baby. And the baby does not make it. And it was really rough reading that. Throughout, before you get to that, I was kind of guessing that was where it was going to go. But then I was like, maybe not. Maybe they'll just leave the baby alone. Maybe the baby will be fine. But I knew, because it had become such a key detail of who she was prior to this experience. But, oh my god. That was really hard to read. And it's not even they're going into a ton of detail. I could not imagine, and I don't want to imagine. And so I ended up crying from it. I did not enjoy that at all. And I wish that hadn't been a part of it. But finding out that there's a second book, I can kind of see why the author did it. I get where he's coming from, but I hated it. I hated it so much. And then my other big gripe with this book is why? Why did Vera end up in this situation? And I don't want that to come across at all as victim blaming. The reason I mean this is a grown adult and a husband, and they both just didn't the husband is saying he doesn't want her to go sell vacuums door to door because it's dangerous. He's worried about her safety. Fair point. But then she's like, no, it's fine. I got it. And he isn't can I just come with you? Because from reading the book, it doesn't seem like he works. And granted, I don't know, but I was like, if you're that worried about your wife, just go with her. You could just sit in the car and chill while she goes and makes a sale. And you could just have a set amount of time before you feel like you need to check in on her. And honestly, I'm gonna be real, if it was me, I probably would have done that and had it be where Vera does go to like a more rural area, but she has her husband. And then they decide to do this one house because whatever. She goes in, she gets taken. And then you could have made it way dark and like included the husband, but they didn't. I don't know. I was like, wouldn't you think to do something? Because it's in the 70s. So this is before cell phones and before car cell phones. So I would think that you would want to bring your husband to at least kind of feel a little safer. And so that was just kind of frustrating because it was like, like, why wouldn't you just do that? But Vera comes across as very naive, I guess, in a sense. Like, she's trying to see the good in people. And so he wrote that well. It just was frustrating to read that and be like, what? You're concerned about her safety, but then you literally don't do anything to ensure her safety? Okay. But other than that, I think for the most part, everything was pretty plausible. The author did Sandra so dirty. So dirty. Like, Sandra was being so optimistic, and she was trying so hard, and she did everything right, and she still didn't get out of the hellhole. Sandra needs justice. And I am so mad about her ending. Hated it. One thing I did like, I love that the author goes into detail when Vera is getting her own justice on the slob. Love that. Thank you. I actually appreciate that the head honcho that worked with the slob, like, I appreciate that that his clientele kind of get punished because they were all being meanie heads and they were supplying the fuel for these poor girls' demise. I will say, like, I don't know. I feel like his explanation for how the whole killing barn started, to me, is a little bit flimsy. And I don't know. I feel like that it was a pretty big jump to just be like, we don't want women. And then, now we're gonna kill women. It seems like a big jump, but I mean, I don't know. There's some sickos out there, so I guess it's plausible. Like, it didn't seem like too extreme of a jump in a way. Like, it still seemed kind of logical. To me, it doesn't have the most logic, but also I'm not messed up in the head, so that's probably that. I will say that there were parts where if you're looking for gore, this is it for you. And like, the author doesn't hold back, so you get a pretty good imagery and like you get gored out. I will say, I hate the lunchbox scene. That scene was so disgusting, and I was so itchy after reading it because that's like my nightmare and I'm gonna ruin it. So basically, backstory on Vera, there is one point where, because of her home's state, she opens her lunchbox and she already feels kind of like an outsider, but she opens her lunchbox and there's a giant cockroach in her lunchbox. And I was not expecting that. And then the worst thing of all, she takes her bare palm and just kills the cockroach because she doesn't want anybody to notice it. And like, dang, because at 5, ooh, I don't think I could have held that in. I think I would have freaked out. But Vera was a brave little 5-year-old. But I hated that scene. So gross. And even talking about it, my hands itch. Hate it. I will say, I am slightly intrigued about the second one, just to see what happens. But also, Vera, no. I can't say the name of the second one, and because it'll just ruin the ending twist. I didn't expect that, and wild to me that like she would go through with it, but like to each their own, I guess. But yeah, the Slob is good, minus my couple of gripes with it. If you're wanting a really gory and gross and disturbing book, this is it. If you don't have a weak stomach, I would not suggest this. I think it would not be fun to read this if you're really sensitive. I will say, I saw a review saying this was worse than To Be Devoured, and I definitely agree. I think this is a lot worse than To Be Devoured. To Be Devoured was pretty mild compared to this. So, if you're interested, check it out, but don't say I didn't warn you.